Guys, welcome back to another Sorted George Garage with me, Julian. Our 65 Coronet torsion bar crossmember has got a little bit of rot in it, so we've made another one. I'll show you how to do it. Here we go. Okay, to start off with, what I want to do is make myself a bit of a template. Right, I've taken a measurement. Okay, it runs down, down, under and back up again, and that's just over 11 inches. Okay, so width wise about 11 inches. So if I go for 12 inches, that gives me room on this part here to slice off or leave whatever as part of the flooring. This section here is going to be easy enough to make. I'd like to sort of wrap it around. Let me just turn the old torch on a bit. I'd like to wrap it around here if I can, just a little bit, and then maybe run it further along the floor. Okay, there is I've put a slice mark there. That's where I'm going to cut it. Okay, but I want to make a template basically for this area here, because as you can see sort of roughly from here, okay, that's where it then starts to come up at the angle, and then obviously you've got a funny bit here with the flooring, but because of the rust holes etc here, it's going to be fun and games trying to make the template. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the template from that section on that side. It's going to be exactly the same as here. This part to make is going to be fine. It's just this little bit where it sort of cuffs up, etc, etc. So I'm going to make a template from that side, and then basically just make the rest of it, like make that bit, that'll be fine. So let me crack on with that, and I'll come back banging. There you go, template in place, lovely. Right, so as you can see here, we've got a little bit of a curve going on. Might have something to do with the fact that it sort of dips in and comes back out again. So, but I do know that it does sort of go up a little bit here. So even if that did come across, it's still going to go up a bit more. So we can put a slice in the metal both sides, as you can see there. Folded that over. So that will just need a quick slice with a thin blade. Obviously I need to make my feet a bit bigger. But yeah, so that's the little bit there that I need to make, really, to be fair, with a template. Because this part here, coming along, let's say we're going to go from about here. This bit will be fine, easy enough to make. And then we can just slice down there at an angle just to come back up at this angle here. But this is the bit that I needed to get right, because you've then got a bit more of a sort of a funny angle here when it comes to going up against the seal, the inner seal. So sorted, George. Right, let's get making. Here we go. Okay, so this is 2.5mm thick steel. Sheet is 500 wide, 50 centimeters wide, and I have marked out it's 33 centimeters, which turn it over is 13 inches, and I think it's about 19.5, just over. Yeah, there you go, 19 5/8. Right, let me just cut that square off and we'll crack on. Right, that's that cut out. Little trick up my sleeve here. This here is a 2-inch box section. All right, and it fits just in there. Lovely. So what I've done is I've marked this up, and that will sit there. Lovely, as you do either side. All right, so now what I'm going to do, because obviously that's 2.5mm thick, that's thick metal, that's not just going to bend easily unless I start heating it up, etc, etc. Well, no, forget that. It's going to be fun and games here, like, you know, I've just yeah, that's not going to bend up too easily, but hey, it is what it is. So I'm going to cut basically that panel now into 3 sections and weld it as a U. Obviously I can weld on the inside of the U, nice and thick, nice and heavy, and then like I'll weld the outside as well, so it's all done, and then I can just tidy that up after the fact, as you do. Let me cut this into 3 sections and I'll come back. Bang it. Okay, so you just see me messing about with the grinder, blah blah blah. Yeah, putting holes in my jumper, etc. Never mind that. Right, what I'm doing, let me put you up on the stand, 2 seconds. Okay, a couple of days later, slight change of plan here. Right, so what I'm doing, forget this, forget that template. I've made another one, okay. Which is obviously going from the sill to the torsion bar, right? And I've cut one of them out already. Right, let me go and show you underneath what's happening. Okay, so up underneath there's my template. Okay, it sits in just up against where the torsion bars fit in and up against the sill. So if I take that out, there it is there, sat lovely. So I'm going to weld some feet like a plate against here to do the feet there. Okay, I've got the underneath one. Let me turn that on. There you go. I've got the underneath one, which is going to be this piece. Okay, and then obviously the same on the other side. So I'm going to make another one. I've got the piece obviously that goes here, and then that's going to come up. Basically, yeah, just weld this as 3 pieces, and then I can just weld some feet on so that it can go against the sill, and then obviously the top one, let me go in, well, here I go, you might be able to see it. The top one I shall weld on, and then the feet obviously will go along here. Yeah, so that's going to be like, what, 1, 2, 3, a couple of pieces here, which will be a bit stronger, I would have thought, and then the top piece. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better than sort of messing about with the bit around here, then another piece, blah blah blah. Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot better. So I'm just going to cut out another one and I'll be back. 2 seconds. Okay, so with George, there it is done. That's both of them exactly the same. Spot on, lovely. So like I say, when I put the top piece on, they are going to fit nicely together, and obviously the bottom piece as well, they're going to fit lovely. It's not like I'm going to have a bit of a bump going down here on this one but not that one, that I got to knock it in and whatever else. So at least I know those two are exactly the same, ready for this piece here to sit along the bottom piece, as it were, you know what I mean? So yeah, and then basically all I've got to do then is just do this top piece, like, you know, the 2 little pieces that sit across the top here, so that the floor can then sit on top. So oh yeah, right, oh yeah, here we go. And this is what I was on about when I was these things earlier. Yeah, so that will be that way round, and that will sort of sit like that. I can weld that on there, as it were, like, you know, trim it up, blah blah blah. So I've got a nice foot there, and then a foot coming out on the sill. This is what I was on about, sort of reusing them, as it were, or make up some more, whatever, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, right, let me crack on. Here we go. Sort of George, banging. Okay, so it's a couple of hours later. I've been messing about with my welder and this, that and the other, blah, 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 blah. It's not strong enough. I've got a nice little Clark 135, nice little hobby welder. Ideal for bodywork, absolutely brilliant for bodywork, blah, blah, blah. This is chassis. This is 2.5mm thick. Yeah, it is really thick metal, and it's not playing ball. As you can see here, you know, the heat and everything else is really good. That one down in the corner, I mean, it's given me a nice weld, a nice clean weld. But if I show you there, look, it's not getting penetration. It's just laying on top. And obviously that ain't going to be any good. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to turn that over like that. There you go. Right. I'm just going to tack this in place, as it were, and bend that down as I go. And a mate of mine, Rob, he's got a 190 welder. So, and he can do up to about 8-9mm plate, something like that. So that's going to be ample to get a really good penetration, which is what I need. I'm going to get him to do the outside and inside. I'll tidy up the outside, but the inside, that can stay like that. It won't matter, you know what I mean, because that'll be a nice strong weld. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. So I won't bore you with that. Let me just tack this together and sort other bits and bobs out, and then I'll come back when it's done. How about that? Sort of, George. See you in a bit. Right, that's that done. That's all tacked together. You can see the heat. I'm getting some nice, like, you know, heat penetration, whatever else, but it doesn't seem like I'm getting penetration with the welds, unfortunately. Like I say, it is like for a chassis, so I want to make sure that this is nice and strong. But there's the shape of it. There she is. Like I say, I'm going to put some feet on the outside here. Put a plate with a foot there and on the other side. Might even put one on the bottom, seeing as I've now put that on the inside. So I might have one inside and outside. Right, let's go and put this up against the car and we'll have a look. Okay, well that's 99% where she's going to set up under the car. She needs to go forward just a couple of mil. She's like, the base of it is sat up against the sill, so that's lovely. So yeah, that just needs to raise up a little bit, which will then close that gap up against the sill. Okay, underneath, let's have a look underneath. There you go, that's how she is. Jobbed. So yeah, that's how it's going to be. That's the sort of foot there that I'm going to have across here, and then like I say, if I now move that up, oh there you go, look, the whole lot moves. Right, so you get in there, you sit there. That's sort of like 99%, because you should now be up virtually level with that floor. There you go, look at that, eh? Absolutely spot on. But the thing is, that's now sat against that foot that is still there. Okay, so yeah, now you know why that's got to sort of go forward just that fraction, which will then give me room to weld this around the base of that torsion bar holder thing, whatever. So yeah, there it is. That's not too bad. I'm happy with that in place. Right, let me just go back up onto the desk. Okay, a little while later, what I've done now, I have welded on the feet. I've just clamped this box section onto here so that you can see like the feet, and that one obviously on the bottom section there that's going up inside. That's now in effect going up against the sill, so you can see how nice and square that is. Yeah, basically we're 99% ready now. That section there, it's like an upside down U. Here is where the chassis comes to meet this like transmission bit, like, you know, with the torsion bar, blah blah blah. It's like a little bit of an extra strengthening part where that joins on, but it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. If you ever get any debris or dust or whatever, it can fall out, and if it was up this end it would be trapped. So yes, it can get out that way as well, and that's just underneath there. That's where you drill the hole for like the water etc to drain out. Obviously I've got to do that, yeah, I've got to drill it, but I want to get all this like welded up etc and ready before I do that. So right, I'm going to get that lot welded by going down to see a mate of mine, Rob, like I say, and then I'll come back. Sorted, George. See you when this is done. Banging. Right, sorted, George. We're back again a couple of days later, and she is done. Rob, you have done a fantastic job, bud. Thank you very much indeed. The penetration on that is absolutely fantastic. I just need to sort of like tidy up one or two of these little bits over the top here, because this is where the floor sits. Okay, so like get rid of a little lump or two there. Yeah, I found out his welder was about $1,500. So yeah, no wonder it was a heck of a lot better than what mine is. But that is fantastic. The welds on that, I am well happy. Yeah, glad I asked him to do it, because there's no way my little welder would have done penetration like that. And like I say, it is for the chassis, so I ain't messing about. I want it done properly. And that's exactly what he's done for me, bless his heart. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tidy up this little bottom edge here, because obviously that's outside, just to make it aesthetically pleasing. Get rid of these little knobbly bit things here, and that's it. Yeah, like I say, just I'm going to tidy up, like I say, tidy up that edge, because there's one or two little lumps that sit proud like here. They just sit proud because this is where the floor sits. So let me crack on with that, and I'll come back. Sorted, George. Banging. That's brilliant. Right, sorted, George. Next day, there you go. That's all done. She's tidied up. As sweet as that's going to be, nice and aesthetically pleasing, as it were, when it's underneath the car, just to get rid of all those sort of like ugly welds from this area here. Jobbed. I've cut the hole as well, so that's done, and just sort of like trimmed up, like, you know, like cleaned up this edge here, because obviously that's where the floor's going to go, like I say. These feet, I forgot to mention, they are only about 1 inch wide, and then they are the, like, you know, like the 1/2 metre, the width of the panel that I had. These will be cut probably about here. Okay, that bit, like I say, goes underneath the original, what's already there, what's staying behind, just as a bit of extra strength. But this will be cut probably about here. And then this end here, this is where the sill is going to be. So it will probably be trimmed like so, because this last little bit will then be bent over onto the top of the sill. So that will sit nice and snug on top of the sill. Yeah, sorted, George. All I've got to do now is I'm going to put some bit of primer and stone chip in there, just to sort of get some paint in there. And what I'll do is I'll do it down in there as well, so that we've got some paint in there. Yeah, sorted. Lovely. Right. Let's just go and show you in the car. See what it looks like. Haven't done that, have I? Right, sorted, George. Well, that's obviously where it's going to sit. Now you can see what I'm on about with this top edge here. It'll be cut off about here, and then that will be bent over flat so that it can sit on the top of the sill. The top's there. Well, you can see roughly how much extra I've got in there. So there you go. Sorted, George. That is basically ready now to go in. But that's going to be in another video, because basically I've got to make up this part of the chassis as well, which obviously I will take from a template over that side. I don't need to show you that, how to make it up, because obviously I've shown you this one. So it's nice and simple to do, isn't it? Nice and simple. Gutted that my welder isn't strong enough to do the to do this 2.5 mil. I am getting penetration, don't get me wrong, but not enough. It's chassis, it's the strength of the car, and that's important. You know what I mean? I don't want to have this go around a bend and then this sort of, like, you know, twist up a bit, as it were, and then it's all out of alignment and it's naff. So I want it right, you know. Right, sorted, George. Thanks ever so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Like, share, hit the subscribe button as well if you wouldn't mind, because it will help this channel grow. A huge thank you to everybody that tunes in and watches, all the new subscribers, all the veterans. Thanks ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, guys. I will see you on the next one. It's Sorted George Garage. Banging. But because of the miss... Oh, okay, bloody hell. So, we've now made a template from the cardboard plant of Patagonia. and as you can see, it is a complete mess. So we've had to make another one from another 4 trees in India to make the cardboard plant of Patagonia. There is no such thing, but it makes this program really interesting. So a little bit of a curvature going on here, so a slice. Wow, that was rubbish. So there is a bit of a slice going to be needed there, okay? And we got a lot of kids going by. Gloves. I've just added. What have I done with it? You know they are going to be right in front of me. What have I done with them? You've walked. Where are you? And then that should then bring that down or up, you know, make that funny angle. You know what I'm on about, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, make that funny angle, and that's rubbish. Okay, so you just see me messing about with a grinder and making holes in my Salted George what's name, and you know, yeah, poor hoodie, never mind. Sarah's going to kill me. What was I going to say? Right, let me go and put this in the car and we'll show you. Yeah, I didn't like that one. Tell you what, let's go and make a noise, shall we? Because, right, it's hanging down. Oh, God. Okay, there it is, all in place up and really. Then obviously that's just going to drop on. Poor camera work. Hello. Okay, a little while later, what I've done, I've put on the feet. That was rubbish. Obviously, you want all the rubbish and water, etc., to burp. And this part here, like over, if I sort of, you know, do that, basically that's what the floor sits on. You know, that was crap, or at least sort of like primed up, etc., inside here and painted. What a load of rubbish that one was as well. Here we go. And this bit here, this is where like the chassis comes up and meets this torsion bar and the transmission rail, is it where like the you know what it is that I'm making it like, you know, oh, what do you call it? Okay.